Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to today's online class. Today the topic that we shall be looking at is agricultural mechanization slash engineering 2. Initially or last week we have treated that of 1, but today is that of 2. So today's topic is also divided into 2. That is why we are having 1 of 2. So next week we are going to treat that of 2 of 2, which is going to be the concluding part. So the things that we are going to do today is farm machines like the dryer and the incubator. Okay, but before we begin our explanation, let me show you the sample of a dryer, of a farm dryer machine. So this very machine is used for drying farm produce. Okay, another dryer is this very one. It's also used for drying farm produce. It's just a sample. As for the incubator, this is sample of incubator. Okay, the incubator is used for the hatching of eggs, but the egg must be a fertilized egg, so it is used for the hatching of eggs artificially. Another sample is this. I hope you can see the eggs inside. Okay, now let's go to the lesson properly. Dryer is a processing farm machine that is used to reduce the moisture content of farm produce. It can be operated with electricity, or you can make use of solar energy. Okay, the function of the dryer is just to dry farm produce such as cocoa and grains. When I mean grains, I'm talking about rice, cowpea, soya beans, and the rest of them. And also for the drying of livestock products such as the meat, fish, and crayfish. Now, what is the function of the incubator? The function is that it is first of all, incubator is a farm machine that is operated with electricity, or you can make use of fuel to supply it to the machine. And the function of the incubator is for hatching fertilized eggs artificially. All right, but it takes 21 days for fertilized eggs of a domestic fowl to hatch in the incubator. It takes 21 days. Okay, the next thing here is conditions for the incubator to function. Before you can place the eggs inside the incubator, there are some conditions that the incubator is supposed to have. For example, the incubator should run for between 12 to 24 hours. That is, you have to switch it on and allow it to generate inside between 12 to 24 hours before you can place the fertilized eggs. As I said earlier, that any egg that you want to place inside the incubator must be fertilized eggs. Okay, the second condition is that it must have the temperature of between 37 degrees centigrade to 39 degrees centigrade. So with this, the fertilized eggs can hatch conveniently and properly. Another condition is relative humidity. The relative humidity must be between 50 to 70%. There is a water basin that is placed under the incubator. I hope you can see it. Okay, that will be supplying the humidity. All right. So the other condition that is required is adequate ventilation. Adequate ventilation. There is a component part of it that is a vent that allows ventilation, that is inflow and the outflow of air within and outside the incubator. All right. Now the next thing is the component part of an incubator. The incubator has the following parts for it to function properly. One is the heater. The heater supply heat to the incubator, which is very, very essential. The other component is a thermostat or damper. This regulates the temperature inside the incubator. We also have hygrometer. It is the hygrometer that regulates the relative humidity in the incubator. Okay. The next one is felt tray. You can also call it egg tray or egg track. This is used to hold the eggs to reduce cracking. The egg rack is very common to you. They are in our various houses as well that we use to hold the eggs. They have some holes inside them that we use to hold the egg. So another component is fan or vent. This is used to make ventilation possible. We also have egg turning device. The egg turning device is used for turning of the eggs, because if you do not turn the eggs, the heat will not circulate around the egg. All right. So the next one is the insulator. The insulator prevents heat loss. Without the insulator, the heat produced by the incubator will be moving outside the incubator, and this is not good. The next one is heat distribution unit. There is a unit within it that makes sure that the heat is spread evenly within the incubator. Now, there are some efforts to ensure uniformity of hatching of eggs in the incubator. The following are very essential to take note of if you want the eggs to hatch uniformly into chicks. All right. The first one is you have to set the eggs in the tray uniformly. Okay. The second one is timely and regular turning of eggs. That is, you must be turning the eggs from one time to the other. It's very essential. Another one is proper handling of eggs. You have to handle the eggs properly to make sure that they are not cracked before you place them inside the incubator. Because if that happens, the inside incubator will be messed up with broken eggs. The next one here is setting eggs at the same time. You don't have to set some eggs now and maybe later I come and set another eggs. No, you have to set them at the same time and close the incubator. You have to select eggs of the same size. You have to select eggs of the same size. Make sure that some are not bigger while some are smaller and you are trying to hatch them in the incubator at the same time. No. Small size, you put them in the incubator. Okay. Later, put the bigger size in the incubator and you hatch them at different time. All right. Holding period for eggs before setting should not exceed 14 days. What we are talking about here is that if you are an egg hatcher, you have incubator and your customers brought fertilized eggs for you to hatch. Okay, once you get it, you keep it. That same day you can put them inside the incubator, or the following day you can put them inside the incubator, or the 5th day. But what we are saying here is that the holding period must not exceed 14 days. That's any egg that you drop on the ground and you not place them in the incubator after 14 days, do not hatch them inside the incubator again. All right. So there are some problems associated with the functioning of the components. The heater, if there is power failure, the heater will not function very well, or if you run out of the fuel. For the fan, the problem associated with it is also power failure or overheating. When the incubator is overused, that it will result to overheating. Another one is the thermometer. The problem associated with the thermometer is bulb breakage or the loss of sensitivity. That is, it will be blurred. You cannot see clearly. As for the vents can block. That is, blockage of the vents. That is, the air cannot come in or go out properly. Another one is the water basin. Water basin, that could be leakage or drying up of water. All right. For the insulator, malfunctioning of its unit. Egg turning device, friction can occur with the joints of the egg turning device, or the nut can be loosened. All right. The next point here is efforts to ensure uniformity of hatching of eggs in the incubator. I've already explained this before. So the next subtopic that we are going to treat is operations needed after hatching of eggs in the incubator. Let's assume that you have finished hatching your eggs in the incubator and you have removed the newly hatched chicks out of the incubator. There are some operations you still have to carry out. One is sexing of chicks. Sexing of the chicks. What I mean by this is that you have to separate the male chicks from the female chicks apart. The second point is drying of the chicks. That is, you dry them because they will be wet. Make sure that they are dried and they look okay. The third point is intraocular NDV vaccination. That is the kind of vaccine that you use to vaccinate day-old chicks. This will prevent them from being attacked by various diseases, because at that tender age they need to be taken care of. If care is not taken, they may be attacked by different diseases. The fourth point is sorting out abnormal chicks. There are some chicks that may be deformed or not appearing too good. You have to separate them and bring the normal ones at a better place. What next we have to do is the packing of normal chicks. The packing of normal chicks. That is, there is a special carton in which you can pack them in for onward transportation to where they are needed, or exportation, as the case may be. We have come to the end of today's lecture. Be expecting the second part that I'm going to tag 2 of 2, and after giving you the lesson on 2 of 2 next week, that is when I'm going to give you assignments. Thank you for listening.